is you know, paramount. I just think they lack a few top end players. So round begins. The TR team is WIB. They picked that as their main faction. So the NC is Hydra, and Hydra are first on point there. They've got a split here with two guys in the warehouse building who are sent to flank. They're pushing right over to the TR side of the base. They've got a decent number of people in the point area using those boxes and just moving around there. Nice light assault work here. It's Viking again. Did a good job actually, his light assault during this tourney. But they got the bulk of them in the jungle area just to sweep around, clear all that up, because from here you can dominate. You can keep them at the stairs. You can just control them at them, which is effectively what is beginning to happen already. So we are 40 seconds-ish into this match, and Hydra look to have a bit of a spawn camp on. They're backing off a little bit. Medic's damaged. Here we've got Kiefer with his bolter. This is a nice thing about Kiefer. You see there his movement and positioning. He just knows when to back off, when to drop back a little bit. So he's lost that one when he was in cover by the look of it. But yeah, I like that in its play. It's just got a good sense of when to push and when not to. Got a lot of TR sweeping through the jungle now and a lot of dead NC, so it looks like they've broke that spawn camp. They're pushing back through. Can they hold the point though? They're not like fully manned pushing for it. We've got Hope here still in the jungle areas, medic. Just making it difficult for them to get in there. Yeah, nice little flank. Guy got pincered on two sides, just can't win that. Nobody can win that. Got more pushing jungle or trying to. I think that was Zuma. Medic getting a resin. Don't peek. You're not gonna have full shots. Look at the NC though, pushing right out of the point, being aggressive, trying to finish the match early. Like we said earlier, they want the games over today quick. They want them just as, and I guess they want to be dominant and really show what they can do after that loss yesterday. So here we go. This is the elusive WIB bolter, Dream 82. They very rarely use the bolter, but I've heard this guy's pretty good. Let's just follow him for a second, see if we can pick any people off. A bit late there. He's flanked by his scout rifle. Survived it though. I don't know where he's gone. Is that a Fortix? It is. As heavy assault. Couldn't play this guy. Let's see if we can. No, bad position. Been shot on too many sides. Using the stairs there to try and peek. It's the stairs are always nice to do that on, but you're never going to cap the point from there. It's just if you get caught there, you've lost. And that's what's happened. That's pretty much as short a round as you could have in this tournament. Hydra again pretty dominant. They do pretty well on this base by the look of it. That game against CSG, they played very well. I mean, CSG were extremely strong, had some great players in their lineup. I think probably a better lineup than WIB have got here. So we now got a 7-minute break between rounds, and then they switch the Sunderers over and start from the opposite sides. Let's take a... oh, the Scott bot's reset, damn. I was a bit too slow. I'm just gonna, while they're doing that, let's get a nice scenic shot for you with some mountains in the background. I'm just gonna take a look at TS and see who's in these two teams. Right, so so it's pretty difficult to tell for WIB because they've got 15 people in their channel, but I am guessing that the better players there. You've got Photix in there, you've got Alexander White, who is their one, Ringer is in there. Psychos, very underrated player, really showed what he can do in that WIB versus Red Mist TCM game, where he top killed, I think. Is it that game? Or was that Red Alliance? I can't remember who they were playing. Apologies, but he top killed for his team by a clear margin. Played very well. Good light assault, but you've got to wonder. This isn't really a light assault map. Hydra tend to use one because it just adds an extra element, but it's not. It helps, but it's not the strongest thing on this map. You certainly wouldn't use a load of them. And WIB do have some great light assaults. But they can't really capitalise on them on a base like this. Those guys are going to have to play other classes. Got Cathal there as well. Cathal from INI, as well as WIB. They're in that team. The Hydra guys, it's a little case of the usual suspects actually. You got Keith versus the Ball Taxer, and you got Viking playing light assault. Couple of changes from the previous round though. They got a French heavy assault. He used to be in Cath actually, Catharsis. He's called Sterners, very aggressive player. He often top kills and frequently has a lot of deaths as well in scrims. Really aggressive player. You got Mr. Guanabana, very good player. They do like an annual vote on Cobalt for best infantry for each faction, best tanker and so on. He got mentioned quite a few times for the NC as best infantry player. Very good farmer. But great in scrims too. Performed well so far, always been in the top 3 for kills in all of Hydra's matches. Let's have a look. DB07 is well known on all servers because I think he's in most outfits. He's in like 6 different outfits, but his main is always Hydra. And he's probably Hydra's best player. Yeah, strong team. They've also brought in a player I quite like in scrims. He has a really different style. It's something that most people don't do. Squiggles. He mains infiltrator, but also just heavy assault. But he only uses semi-autos. So he doesn't really bolt action. He'll use scout rifles, and he's kind of mastered that double headshot thing. And he does the same as heavy assault with, say, a WOD and the battle rifle. Just get in close quarters and pop 2 shots in the head. He's very good at it. It's an interesting approach to scrims. It's rarely seen actually. People don't tend to use battle rifles. It's a difficult skill to learn to do well, but he actually does better that way than with LMGs. It's kind of made it his own. Maybe not the top performer, but does pretty well. So timer's on 4 minutes again. It's set to neutral. I'm looking at Yell Chat. Are we close to the start of the second round? Notice that Hydra using 2 squads as well, so they got a 4 and a 7. Means there's probably one guy in a Charlie squad who's off on his own with like a free roll. He's probably so what I'm guessing from that is they're putting 4 guys on point, 7 guys in the jungle, and 1 guy who's probably covering the inside of the warehouse, a heavy assault, and trying to get around and flank. Use this little entrance here to kill anyone in this area. Maybe even push up to the crate. Hard to tell though. I mean, Ziggy's is very fluid with his tactics. Changes them from round to round, just keeps people guessing. He said in the post-match interview, like for the last round, sorry, against CSG, what CSG tried at the start was just send a whole bunch of guys, use this jump pad and go through the warehouse, because they'd lost the previous 2 rounds pretty hard, not terribly, not like that game was, and Ziggy's actually just assumed they would do that. After losing 2 rounds playing normally, you kind of guess, well, they'll try and use the warehouse more, put some extra people here from the beginning. It paid off. It was a really nice tactical move. Good bit of thinking. Maybe a slight risk, but it worked. It came off. Just going to take another quick look at Yell chart. So they're both teams are ready. They're good to go. It looks like we're waiting on the referee to confirm. Let me just remove that annoying waypoint from the map. Let me just show you this in Yell chat. Hello Spurs. You famous PSB X0173NC. Here we go. So NC again, quite aggressive, straight on point, not sitting back. TR pushing quite heavily on the jungle side. That's expected. Getting picked off though. Light assault above them. Oh, that's. See, this is a really strong position, sitting here and peeking over. When there's a light assault above you, that stops being a strong position really quickly. And that is a wipe. That is a 30-second wipe on the TR.
Watch your 6! Infiltrator in the area!
They're just waiting here, the TR, the ones that are still alive and in the base, are just hanging back a bit, and it's the right thing to do. Because like this guy, if you attack you're gonna die. You can't attack alone. They're outgunned, they've got to attack in groups. I feel for this guy that's on his own. How is he gonna push around here? He'll try it eventually. Yeah, he's down. Gonna get a res. Let's take a look at what's going on in this building. Saw some fire in here. Aha! So we've got a light assault actually inside the warehouse building. There's some more TR, used the jump pads and pushed over to the far side. This is a bit cleverer, this is worth a try. And the NC are beginning to counter it. The point is actually flipping. Just sneaked a few, so while they've given Hydra that distraction in the warehouse, too many Hydra people have reacted to that basically. And they've got back in, they got off the stairs and back in on the point. So that's a case where comms have been a problem in that they've obviously given an order, oh look, they're using the warehouse, and everybody's reacted to it. They've actually given up their hold on the stairs and just briefly conceded the point. But they're so dominant in the kills here that it's not going to matter too much, and they've cleaned that up pretty handily. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. So we've got Ziggis, team captain, on 11 kills. Got Squiggles, the guy I mentioned earlier, the single action fellow who's on 6. We've got a medic, Swoosh, Ryan on 6. Fotix has got 5, he's doing well. It's hard to get a good number of kills on a losing team. It's much harder than it is on a winning team. So getting 5 kills there is playing well. That resonate is such a risk taking that when you're just so flanked. Let's take a look at this. Looks like Squiggles. He's trying to jump spam up the architecture, whatever the thing here is. We're down to 45 seconds on point. TR Heavy's pushing in. They're not getting many reses, but I just wouldn't worry about that on this map. The distance from the spawn to the point is so short. You don't especially need to worry about medics. And by the look of the Hydra team, I think they got fewer there than you would normally use. Normally might use 4 or even 5 they used last night on WOHA shipping, but here it's probably more like 3. There's a big push coming up from the TR, but it's just too little too late. And that is match over. So that tells us a lot about the way this tournament's going to go. Let me just get the splash screen up. So the next game, 8 PM tonight UK time or 9 PM in Central Europe, will be the 3rd place playoff, and that is going to be WIB versus TCM, Red Mist and Blink. They're playing off for 3rd place in the tournament, but the final will no longer be at 9:30 tonight or 10:30 in Europe. It will be tomorrow, and we don't know the time yet. I need to talk to Zoomer about that because it's not written down anywhere. But basically the final, which will be Hydra versus the Red Alliance on the Octagon, or Mattison's Triumph as I believe it's called. Let me check that. I still always call it the Octagon. I can't even remember what its correct name is now. Watterson's Redemption. This is the, you can see why it's called the Octagon straight away. This is the base. That's where the final's going to be played. That will be done tomorrow night. So no final match tonight. The 3rd place match that will be tonight, we'll have an hour's break before that match, more than an hour actually, because this one finished pretty quick, will be on Akan Southern Labs. This is a base where you've got an open A point, you've got
no problem.
4 buildings around it, and it's a really good scrim base.
Did you cast Bridgewater here?
I did, yes.
Okay. We've got two strings in here now then. So
Yep.
we've got Hansi and Ducky casting and you casting, but we don't have someone from the WIB side yet. I'm gonna talk to them quickly.
User left your channel.
Okay, we're just waiting for Zoomer then, I guess, for post-match interviews.
User joined your channel.
Yeah, they're quickly, like, Zoomer is helping them with the strategy because they need to play Red Mist tonight. Well, we now have the final tomorrow, I guess.
Oh, so he's not going to come for the interview?
Yeah, he is, but he said like 20 seconds. He was quickly doing some
Sure
strategy,
thing.
I guess.
Well, let's start off with you then. I mean, you must be. You said earlier that your goal was to try and win these 2 matches today as quick as possible. You must be pretty happy with the way things have gone.
Oh yeah. It was way more like you see just the difference between like the top tier teams and then the hey GG Zuma.
Hey GG, yeah, it was brutal. It was really brutal.
I sec. So yeah, you see just like the small differences it make, and like the more comfortable you are on the map as us, because we scrimmed Bridgewater and Fort Liberty a little bit more than some of the other maps. and I guess we got a bit lucky on the draw. So yeah, it was really good. That's we still got a good team for both matches together, and yeah, we just decided to let's go for the first clear, play aggressive, and then we'll camp them. And that's exactly what we did.
I mean, I could see that you were trying a few different things, Zuma. There was some guys going into the warehouse, and you did actually. That kind of succeeded in that. It seemed like Hydra overreacted to it. Sent too many people into the warehouse, and you did briefly get the point, but I think it was won purely by being outgunned.
Yeah, it was. We were losing the firefights, and we didn't really. I mean, we set up the tactic for the map based on the Hydra CSG match, so we kind of. I was reffing that match, so I saw how Hydra plays, and we wanted to go really heavy for the forest and kind of have control there and anchor with like one duo on our stairs, so we can keep pouring into the base. But yeah, we got outpicked. Every engagement in the forest, it was like 2-3 guns on 1 or 2 guns of ours, and yeah, fair and square, it was brutal, and we still have a long way to go to reach the level of gameplay that Hydra has. Really well deserved, and it was a pleasure to play, guys.
Since we played the CSG game, we knew what to expect, and first of all, we called the heavy jungle push from WIB. I was on point. I knew, like, okay, if they're not going to contest the point from the side that we started on, then they're gonna heavy on the jungle. We saw, okay, well, there's maybe 1 or 2 guys on point, so the 4 people that are on point can aggressively push. I personally conked the jungle side on your end from the room, and then we pushed 2 heavies from the flank from inside the point as well. So yeah. Like we expected it, and in the second game as well. Was it the second game? We expected then after that to actually that you guys would go more heavy on the building side. So I actually pulled someone away from that side. We played 2 on it on the first match because I knew like you're probably gonna put more people there. Even 2 people won't win that fight. So the 1 person that is there, play defensive, just pick as many people off as you can. But it was expected. So we can camp the stairs for as long as possible, and then if we know, okay, well, now they're coming from Charlie, we can switch around, and that's we like, even though you guys maybe have touched the point, I saw how we still had 6 people on the like stairs camp, so that we're just falling back into the point, cleared you out, and then we could get the medics to res us.
You mentioned you threw a conk, Ziggy, so you were playing heavy that match. You switched away from medic. Yeah,
we had a different medic playing. Plus, we switched around from Urbanist map a little bit.
That might have paid off. I'm just looking at the scoreboard for the last round, and top kills with 11. DBO and Keefus in joint second, and swooshed as well, all had 9. Yeah, nice job.
Yeah, we got outfragged badly outfragged.
What was your squad composition then, Zuma? Like, particularly, how many medics did you use?
So we ran with 4 medics, 1 light assault, 1 infi, and the rest were heavies.
And it looked like you had 2 infills at sometimes, Ziggy?
We played 1 bolt action, 1 scout rifle in squiggles, 1 light assault, and 3 medics. Heavies. So 1 medic on the jungle push stays back, versus the people that fall off. 2 medics that stay on the point will combine with. I'm
gonna leave the stream to you guys. I just got to answer the door.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
I'll be back in a sec.
Maybe Hansi or Ducky have some good questions for us.
Well, what I saw also, it was by WIB. Zoomer, you also switched class because the match first that you had this day, you were really good at playing with the heavy. Why did you switch over to the medic, by the way?
So I opted to go medic and support Apotix on the anchor position. For the reason so I can put a player who is way more deadly with the aim than me on a heavy assault on the jungle team. So I had a more passive role, and which actually allowed me to follow the map more and kind of see and react, in changing the approaches and the sides where we want to push. But for all the good that it did us, not much,
Yeah, what I saw also, Hydra really did a good job by getting a lot of guys on the A point roundings. So you guys didn't get that much people inside of it. The thing is, was it really one of your tactics to hold as many people onto the aim point, or were you trying to get also more to the side?
Yeah, the strategy is we played 4 people inside the 8 points, 2 heavies, 2 medics. Medics stay very passive while the heavies peek. And then the medics can either throw a resonate to the jungle or just rest the people that die on point, or maybe swap around to some people that got picked up on the box. But basically there is very good holdable positions that are impossible to shoot unless you completely lose control around the base, where you can actually flip the point from. So if you touch the orange crate in the northern corner, it's from the northern side. It's you can actually touch the point and flip it. Same for the northwestern. There's a small double box that you can flip the point from, which you can't peek unless you actually push hard on the sides. And on the other side, from the south, you can push toward the orange rectangle crate, whatever it is, in the southern position, and you can flip the point from there. So if you just hold the point with 4 people, you force them to push and make mistakes.
So those watching the stream, when the cap timer flashes up on my screen, you can see that I'm affecting the point area. So there it is, quite a distance away from the A point, and you're still flipping it, and you're well in cover. And you can move around the point, around all these crates and plants and all this stuff, and you're still affecting the, or in a lot of them, you're still affecting the capture point.
Yeah, and that's really strong because basically if they don't push as many people into those defensive positions, they will lose the point, and you'll get an easy minute, maybe 30 seconds on the point. That's gonna be effective if it's a close game.
Well, again, to both GG, Sigis, also Hydra, GG. You guys again tomorrow against Red Alliance. What do you expect to see in that match against the Russians?
Oh, that's gonna be a hell of a tough match. We had a hard time yesterday against Red Mist, and now having partly watched, well, because we were between games and most of us went for dinner, but we all watched parts of it, and the Russians look scary. So their team play is gonna be more on points than we have. Plus they've played probably 20 times as many times on the Octagon as we have, because we pretty much never touched it before the Scrim tournament announced that it was in the final. And it's going to be a very tough match.
Well, again, Hydra's GG.
Yeah,
GG.
For me against already good luck tomorrow against Red Alliance.
Yeah, and just a quick note. So